AJ here, along the way with J&J. So we got the new fuel pump and fuel filter to put in the generator, just to see if that's going to help our generator issues, where it will run. Sometimes it'll run just fine. Sometimes it'll run for a few minutes and quit. Sometimes it'll only run if I keep my finger on the start button. So I know it's getting fuel, but maybe it's just getting some dirty fuel, or I don't even know. Could be anything. So I'm going to start with, I changed the oil already, and I'm going to replace the fuel filter and the fuel pump and see if that helps. I did find that our air intake hose here was not connected to the air intake over there. It was just kind of flopping around in the back. So that's why when I checked the air filter last year, it was never dirty, because it wasn't filtering any air. Anyway, so to get into the back where the fuel filter and the fuel pump is, looks like we have to take this whole section out here, which is some star-shaped screws. I think that's a number 17, or I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. But take all that stuff out, and that plate there should come right out all together. Unplug these, and the fuel pump and the fuel filters are right back there. See here. So we got these two pieces out that were here, along with this plate that they sit on top of. So that goes in like that, right on the other side. These things all connect. Right there's the fuel pump, the fuel filter in the back. But my next step is back here, under here. You can see the fuel line going in right there. Need to take that off and plug it so the gas doesn't come out, and then should be able to unscrew everything in there and connect it back up. We got two wires coming out of this end. This is the positive, the 12 volt. You got the negative here. Just plugs in on the side there. So I suppose you can just screw that down to any part of the chassis there to ground it. So it's got a different, so on the inside of the negative, it's got one like this. So it's just plugging into the side over here. See, but this one has the round, so you can attach it with a screw. So we'll have to find a place for that. First I got to figure out how to plug the gas line. I think I can use this little rubber adapter that's on the new fuel filter. It looks like it would fit in there. Alright, here we are back again. So that screw is giving me the darndest time. Won't say what I'm really thinking, but it's really rusted in there from the bottom. You can see it. I got some liquid wrench on there soaking it up, and it's just not really anywhere to move your hands around. Not really any place to move your hands around in there. So it's like a millimeter turn at a time. There's some sort of plastic fan thing over there. I can't tell what that is. I keep hitting my knuckles on that. But I mean, I got it this far. It shouldn't take that much effort now to swap it out, put the new one in. Getting it back together might be fun, but okay, so finally got the fuel pump screw undone and out of there. So that little blue cap there, that's the fuel line going from the pump to the carburetor. There's the old fuel pump and fuel filter. If we look under here, see the blue cap there, that's the fuel line going to the tank. So I didn't have anything that fit in the fuel line to pinch it off, except these these wire caps. So that little blue one fit perfectly in the 1/4-inch hose. So I was prepared. I had a few different size caps, a pencil I was going to stick in there, and some duct tape ready. But I did finally get the pump out. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the new one together. So this is the new fuel pump here. Fuel filter is here. Okay, so this end goes to the fuel line going to the carburetor. Fuel filter goes on this end, and then the fuel line goes here. So let's put these together here. So this is going to go to the fuel line to the gas tank. Comes through here, it's pumped out through here into the carburetor. So if you're positive and negative here, this is a... Okay, so I've got the fuel pump together. I did take the wrench and tighten it up a little bit more. I took the compressed air, blew out all the crap that was hanging out in here. Mostly acorn stuff and just dirt, pretty much. Wiped it down a little bit, get that liquid wrench off the bottom. Still got to figure out where I'm going to ground the fuel pump to. Okay, so new fuel pump and fuel filter is in. Let me get a light in here. So I ended up grounding the ground wire here. You can see it. This wire. I ended up grounding it right with the same bolt or screw that screws it to the chassis itself, because it had that different kind of plug. So that should work just fine. I put a new clamp here on the end of the fuel line here, and then we got the fuel line back on the other end. So it is in, and now we got to put it all back together and see if it works. So I got to put this. Okay, since I got everything taken apart, so I'm gonna go ahead and replace the air filter in here. So you just unscrew this, pop the cover off, and you can yank the air filter out, and that's a new one there. Pretty simple. Looks like a, you know, just like a car one. You just slide it in there and then put the cover back on, put the screw back on, and it's good to go. So I'm gonna do that now. All right. So here we are. Everything's been put back together. New fuel pump, new fuel filter, new air filter, all installed. Nothing's ever as easy as it looks on YouTube or on TV. It's just a matter of, you know, I had to take this stuff all apart, take the battery cables off, and then in the back, that screw that was holding the fuel filter down, securing it to the chassis there, was a pain in the butt to get off. I had to use some liquid wrench, bang on it a few times, and swear at it a few times. Eventually, after about an hour, I got it off. I scrubbed the wheel down with a wire brush, the screw in where it's screwed into. So I ended up grounding the fuel pump to the same screw that I unscrewed, to the same screw that holds it down. I didn't ground it in here because it has a different type of connector. It's got the slotted plug-in connector, whereas the new one had the round screw hold down, screw ground. Yeah, that's the technical term. Anyway, so everything's connected. Let's see if she starts up. So the generator works, everything's back in the right way, assumingly, because it is running. So let's go inside and see if we're making electricity. And we are. The light is on the microwave. That's how I know we're making electricity, is when the microwave lights start blinking. So yeah. So that's changing out the fuel filter and fuel pump on the Onan 4000 generator. There's a 94 Ford Tioga.